guys, Prowl 1701 here. Today we're going to be talking about some Big Finish, and we're going to be looking at the 7th Doctor story, which is called Dark Universe, with him with his kind of movie outfit there, which is the outfit I prefer. We also have Ace in this as well, with the 11 as the main villain. Now, I have actually had this CD for a while. I'm not even sure who sent it. It was a piece of fan mail someone had sent me some time ago. I forget who sent it right off the top of my head. And I had always put it off because I was never a big fan of the 11. I'd never listened to any of the 11. But just as a concept, I'd never been a fan of the idea of the 11. But then I got Doom Coalition from Robert recently, and I liked Doom Coalition, which also had the 11 in it. And I like the 11 more as a character now. Plus, the people voicing him are really good. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and give this a listen. Plus, I'm really trying to make sure that when people send me fan mail, especially if it's like Big Finish stories, something I haven't seen yet, that I give it a listen. Because if someone's going to send it to me, I feel like I should listen and review it. To me, it's like a social contract thing, kind of, you know? So, I didn't really get into this one, though. I found myself getting bored, especially on the back half. Casting is great. Sylvester is great. Whoever is voicing the 11 is great. Sophie's always great. And then the other cast, Cardinal Illustra, all of them, they're fine. I like all of the cast in it. It's more just the story. I mean, the music is fine. There are times I found myself getting confused. I wasn't always 100% sure who was talking. Also, the 11 sounds kind of like McCoy a little bit, like sometimes to me. The 11, it was easier for me to make out when the 11 was talking with some of his other selves. And it's really hard to go into, because this is, while being 4 kind of half-hour parts, they are 4 parts of a whole, unlike Doom Coalition, which was 4 separate stories that felt more like a seasonal arc. This story is very much like a classic 4-part, or 4 parts of a whole, with Ace actually helping the 11. And it's told kind of in a non-linear manner, especially in episode 1 with Ace meeting the 11 and all of that. And then you find out Ace has been with the 11 for so long that she can actually tell which one of his personalities is talking. Like, she'll know if it's 3 or if it's 6. That's pretty neat. It's interesting to see Ace working with the 11 until right around the end of episode 1 when you find out it's actually a ploy by the 7th Doctor and she's actually working with the 7th Doctor. You know, very much the 7th Doctor doing his, you know, plans within plans within plans like Chessmaster McCoy does. They have a guide with them who gets flashed forward into the future to see his own death. And they don't do anything with that because, like, right toward the end of episode 2, he actually meets that death. It's like, I don't know, it just feels like a wasted opportunity. The cliffhanger to part 2 was pretty nice, with the 11 kind of getting to this gate, because it basically talks about parallel dimensions, and that one of these dimensions is a dark dimension where this one life form became the dominant life form and just killed all of the others, and just became basically, you almost get the sense that they're like bodiless, they're like just pure creatures of consciousness. And the voice work for the dark dimension aliens is really good too. It's just kind of quiet whisper, like a female whisper. It's really, really good. And they're so powerful, they can control people's actions with their minds. They can freeze them in place. And there's a bit of a gap between part 2 and part 3, because like part 3 picks up like 6 months after part 2, which disc 1 is part 1 and 2, and disc 2 is part 3 and part 4. And at this point, large swaths of the galaxy have been destroyed. The Daleks have been destroyed, the Cybermen, the Sontarans. Immediately as I'm hearing this, I'm thinking, this sounds like a Russell T. Davies era reset button. Spoiler alert, it is! Maybe not a Russell T. Davies era one, but it feels like one of his reset buttons. He keeps the 11 keeps the Doctor around basically as his court jester, his fool. Of course, the Doctor's planning his traps within traps. There was a couple things I didn't catch, like the 11 being stuck in the Matrix at one point. I didn't see that coming. The ending was all right. Felt a little Deus Ex Machina, a little contrived, but... And then it basically seems like it's setting up the events in The Last Day, which I know is kind of the 7th Doctor's version of The Last Adventure, like the 6th Doctor got. Although I don't think The Last Day is held as in high esteem as The Last Adventure. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to it. But this seems to be setting that up. Because the 11 does try to release these creatures from the Dark Dimension in, which we find out the creatures from the Dark Dimension, spoiler alert, were the Time Lords of that dimension. The Time Lords went kind of full evil and killed everything else. They basically became the Daleks and became the dominant life form. And, yeah, they were evil. And the only thing, they even mentioned that, what stopped that happening in this universe? And they found out it was Rassilon, something Rassilon did preventing it. So the 11, of course, is like, ooh, well, if that boar didn't like it, I definitely got to try it. So there are some humorous bits in this. There are some humorous bits in this sometimes with the wordplay. Like there's a couple times between Ace and the 11 where they have banter back and forth that's very amusing and has good chemistry, and you can tell they've been traveling with each other for a while early on. I like one part when these guards are trying to get the 11, Ace, and their guide to surrender, and the 11's just like, no, and then throws what's basically the equivalent of a flashbang at him. It's just the way he does that, like, no. And there's a couple other parts that I can't quite keep in my head where little pieces of dialogue, I was like, I like what they did there. I like what they did. That was really, really clever. So it does have some fun pieces of dialogue in it. The ending is interesting where the 11 tries to release the creatures from the Dark Dimension, and they refuse. Not only do they refuse, but they restore most of the universe that was destroyed. You know, the big reset button we were talking about. And we don't know quite why, except they made a deal with the Doctor that to them was a better deal. We're not told what that deal is, but that they expect the Doctor to keep up his end of the bargain. Foreshadowing. And then it teases at the end with the entities talking to the 7th Doctor. First off, Ace storms off in a huff because she's steamed at the Doctor. Because they captured the 11, they put him away. And Ace basically accuses him of being worse than the 11, and she storms off angry. More animosity between them. And then the Doctor and the entity have a conversation where, you know, she's basically like, your last day is coming soon. Your death, the last day soon. Basically opening the doors for the events of the last day to happen. The first 2 parts I was able to keep up with a lot easier. Again, maybe part of it's just me. I was able, because I listened to the first 2 parts last night, and I was able to pay attention to those. The second 2 parts, especially with that time jump, that 6 months time jump, and having to figure out what the heck was going on, I was very bored. I kept getting distracted. I was getting on the computer. I was having trouble focusing. I eventually had to stop, probably a few minutes into part 4, and just try to focus on the episode again. And I was having a really hard go of it. Overall, it's not really that impressive to me. I like the performances, and it does make me like the 11 more. The performances are really good. The music's really good. Again, some of the banter between the characters I like. But just the story overall doesn't really do much for me. I could see myself going back and giving it a listen. It's not all bad. I could see myself re-listening to it again at some point. But, definitely not as exciting as Doom Coalition was, I can say that. So, Dark Universe. What do you think of it? Comment down below and let me know. Do you think it's a good setup for The Last Day? I haven't listened to The Last Day, so you tell me. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review. This was a piece of fan mail that I got, some time ago. So if there's something you would like to send me to look at and review, as I am making it a point to where when I get fan mail that I get on it, especially with like audios and stuff. I've got several books from Flyattractor I probably need to get caught up on, but he sends a lot of books, which I appreciate. I've actually got some of them right down here out of camera range. I'm trying to set up a row of them. So that's down there. A link to the Amazon wish list is down there. A link to the Amazon UK wish list is down there as well. I've updated those recently. I think I added Doom Coalition 2 on it. I also want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Sam Venning, Finn Perkins, and Unknown289. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. It's very much appreciated. Most importantly, thank you for watching.